Hey guys, this is Claudia here from the Bookkeeping Experts. Tax season is almost over. What next? That's what we're going to talk about. Talk about the workflow of how to keep your books, your QuickBooks Online, up to date so you can refer to it whenever you need. The importance of keeping your books up to date is huge, and mostly not just for tax filing, but for you to have your point of reference. So if you want to grow your business, you know exactly what to do. Of course, you want to grow your business. Of course, you want to stay ahead of the competition. And how you do that? By understanding what's going on with your finances and what are the steps you need to take your business to the next step, next level. All right, so without much further ado, let's go to QuickBooks Online and find out what the tools. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is our books. This is the accountant view. It makes it easier for you to work. Some of you may prefer the business view, but everything is there. It's just kind of different way. All right, so first of all, what we're gonna do is go and gather documents. Okay, so for a lot of you, you already have the bank statements already being downloaded automatically into your books. So the only thing you need to do is accounting. If you want to verify that, you go into your banking, you can click on view register and reconcile, or you can just go accounting and then reconcile, right? Okay, so when you get here, there should be a button. This is just a simple account, so it's not here. There should be a button over here, right over here, that says view statement. You want to click in there and your statements are automatically uploaded. Now, something to remember is that QuickBooks will send those statements mostly to checking account and major banks. Some of the smaller banks may not upload your statements, so those you may have to get it straight from your bank. All right, so gathering those documents, bank accounts being the first one, and all your credit card accounts. The next is all your loan statements and any other type of liability that you need to pay, right? So the next step is to categorize the transactions. You have your documents in place, your car loans, your mortgage loans, anything, all your statements in place. So everything is in place. Now we're gonna categorize, and you want to click on the left-hand side under banking, and we're gonna go to the transactions. Here's where you have fun. Now, something to remember is that when categorizing income, if you have any kind of integration that is bringing transactions into QuickBooks, such as Square, Shopify, Amazon, or any kind of integration with QuickBooks, Honeybook, or whatever third-party app that is integrated with QuickBooks and bringing the information, the income information through QuickBooks, you should always match those transactions, such as these transactions here, and you want to match it to a deposit. Do not match to an invoice. Do not match to a payment. It should be into a deposit. Workflow of income transaction. We always talk about that. You issue the invoice. You issue a payment to undeposited funds. Then you click on the plus new and record the deposit to the bank. Remember, dates are very important and the amounts are very important, because if you don't have the right date, if you don't have the right amount that hit the bank, then you will not be able to match in QuickBooks. So very important to do all those steps. So after categorizing everything, like I said, you want to be able to match any kind of income transaction or even expense transaction, just like checks. So if you're issuing a check through QuickBooks, you want to make sure that that expense transaction will match in banking. If not, you're duplicating your transactions. Bill payment, same thing. Don't match it to bill, but bill payment instead. when you match it to anything such as this one into payment, you take a chance of sending it to the wrong place. So what I like to do when there's a transaction that says payment and it's routed into the bank, I want to put it on uncategorized asset. The interesting thing is that a lot of people don't understand, why do we send, I'm sorry, it's late. The undeposited funds, not uncategorized asset, undeposited funds. Erase that. Undeposited funds. I always send your deposit to undeposited fund, not an uncategorized asset. Never to uncategorized asset. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, undeposited funds. And then from undeposited funds, I record that deposit. Okay. Just like this. Want to make sure you put the right date of those deposits in right bank account, save and new until you get everything done here. All right, and then like I said, match, match, match. Don't match it to payment. You can match the refund transaction, match to deposit, always to deposit. If there's payments here, you need to make sure that take the extra step to make sure that it's correct, or send it to undeposited funds and fix it. Okay, so bill payment, same thing. You don't want to match it to just bill, but bill payment. All right, anything, if you send receipts into QuickBooks, you can turn that receipt into an expense. We have a video on that. And then you want to match this. Anytime you have transaction that you recorded into QuickBooks, you want to make sure that those transactions are matched. The other thing about categorizing is transfer transaction. You want to make sure that if you transfer a transaction, let's say saving, oh, this is a deposit, right? If you paying your credit card, let's suppose you're paying with your credit card with your checking account. You want to make sure you record the payment in one side and then match it on the other side. If you don't match, you will be duplicating all these transactions. Okay, once again, this is a sample account, so we can't really dig into how transfer go, but I have another video on transfer. You should take a look at that. All right, so after we categorize all the transactions, this is 0. The next step is to reconcile your bank account. So reconcile can go on the left hand side, accounting, and then go into your bank account this way, or you can click on go register right from banking, and here is your bank register, and you want to click on reconcile right after. You know, put the beginning balance, the date, and start reconciling. Something that is very important, I'm just going to put this as a sample count. It's almost impossible for us to do anything here, but I'm just going to put a number here because I want to see something that is very important. Put it as last month. Okay. These transactions, this is just a simple account. It doesn't have a green flag. So it will not automatically select for you. So when it's coming from the bank, it's not a sample account. In the reconciliation, you will see the green flags right next to each transaction. If there is no green flag, it means that it was manually recorded, and you have to be careful with those because a lot of times those are transactions that have not been matched. Now, from here, you can fix those duplicated transactions. I do have another video on that. Have a video on just about everything. Maybe not. You tell me if there's something you want to cover, but I have a video on that, on how to fix duplicated transaction from the reconciliation. But anyhow, the important thing is that you want to select every single transaction, okay, except for any transaction that cleared on the following month. And then you want to take a look at the total deposits if it matched to your bank statements, and all your payments if it matches to the bank statements as well. The difference here, of course, is going to be, there's a difference because it's a sample and I'm just guessing a number here. But if this is a real book, you will need to have this as 0. And if there is any transaction that is not, let's suppose that there is a transaction hidden over here that is not selected, okay, but the difference is 0. If this little check box on the top is not checked, don't just click on reconcile. Make sure you go through the entire all the transactions, and if you find that transaction that has not been selected, you want to make sure that it has cleared on the following month. See the clear date here? So we do have some transactions that are in green. So those are the transactions that come from banking. If there is no green flag here, this green square, it means that it's manually entered. And like I said, this is a just a simple count. So your selection should be all the checkbox should be all selected, including the top one, except for any kind of transaction that has clear the following month. Those you do not select. It should be a 0 balance, and then you can go ahead and reconcile. Make sure that you do not reconcile if there is a difference. If there is a difference and you reconcile, it's going to send you an account, to an expense account, called reconciliation difference or a balance sheet account. You don't want that, because that is not an expense account. There's not an income account. It's your books are not ready to be reconciled. You want to make sure you go over every single transaction. Now, to make sure that your reconciliation is done right, this is what you got to do. You can go into the bank register by going to accounting, and then reconcile or chart of account or bank register right from here. Or you can go to bank register through several ways. Like I said, if you're in banking, you can go to bank register from here. So there's different ways to get to where you want to get in QuickBooks. And the one thing you want to do, let's suppose if these was reconciled to December 2022, I don't put anything on the front date, but I will put something on the last day as of December 31st. In the reconcile status, see this little drop down box? I want to select not reconcile because I don't put anything on the beginning date, but I want to make sure that every single transaction that has been reconciled is indeed reconciled. If there is anything left in there not reconciled, it means that the books were not properly reconciled. Okay, obviously this is not reconciled, and I have a ton of transactions here. But if this was properly reconciled, this is just a simple count, it should have nothing in here, right? So this is how I check. All right, so next thing is to be able to reconcile all your other accounts, your liability accounts. You want to reconcile all your asset accounts, anything, especially the liabilities. If you have any loan, mortgage, you want to make sure that you reconcile that so you can account for any kind of interest expense versus payment to principal. And keep in mind that a car payment is not an expense. A car payment is a payment to your liability account, and only the interest paid on your car loan or on your mortgage, the interest is the only thing that is expense. And also, of course, at the end of the year, the depreciation, which is decided by your CPA according to the life of your asset. Okay, so next thing is to review your balance sheet. Like I said, make sure that everything is reconciled in there, including any kind of payroll liability if you have, and any kind of owner's distribution. A lot of time there may be an expense account sitting on owner's distribution, and owner's distribution is an equity account on the balance sheet. So you're not going to have a deduction on those transactions. You want to make sure that they are if they are indeed a business expense, they should not be on owner's distribution. They should be categorized accordingly. Okay, and the next thing is to make sure you check your profit and loss. When checking your profit and loss, oh, by the way, profit and loss and balance sheet are the two most important reports. The next one is your cash flow. And then you have other reports that can help you too. Now, there's different variation of your profit and loss in QuickBooks Online. I love to use the standard profit and loss and also the percentage or by income, your profit and loss by percentage of income. Okay, this is a very useful report. So we're just gonna run the profit and loss for last month. Actually, it's this year to date here. So but if I want to make sure that it's just last month because I have reconcile up to last month, I'll just do last month. If you are accrual basis, you want to leave it here. If you're cash basis, you want to click on cash basis. So you want to verify if there is any discrepancy here. Discrepancy in the profit and loss means negative amount on the income transaction, except for discount giving, which is negative. Everything should be positive. And then you want to take a look at your cost of goods sold and make sure that everything is accounted for and not sitting on a different account. The reason why we have cost of goods sold is that we want to verify under this account any kind of direct cost for providing your services. So if you're in construction, any kind of material you buy to do your job, those are cost of goods sold. This is any labor cost that is directly associated with providing your services is a cost of goods sold. Not just the products, because some people think cost of goods sold is just for, products you buy to resell. No, cost of goods sold is anything, including cost of labor that you acquire when you provide your services. The cost of you providing your services. You wanna do that so that you can have your gross profit and find out what's your income before your operations expenses. Okay, after that you have your operations expenses. You want to make sure that there is nothing under Ask My Accountant, because that means that is not categorized, and nothing under uncategorized expense. The other problem is any kind of negative balance on your expense. That means that it's income that was categorized under expense, and sometimes it could be a refund but it was categorized different than the original categorization. You want to make sure that if it is supplies, that if there is a refund to supplies, you categorize that as the supplies as well, because it's going to offset that expense account. So if you put it any place else, then you're going to have a negative profit and loss. All right. The only way for you to have a negative profit and loss, which I have seen it, is if you acquire that expense the year before, and then you got the refund on the following year. So that's one way. Other than that, there should be no negative income transactions here. All right. So after you verify all that, you're good to go. Then next is just to evaluate. That's the most important part. Use your profit and loss by percentage to evaluate the percentage of income and expense. This is the percentage to total income. So you're going to see your total income. Where's your income coming from? You want to verify what are your best products out there. You want to see your cost of goods sold percentage, because if it is too high, that means your gross profit it's not good. So you may have a loss in the end, right? You wanna definitely keep tax. That's why we keep the cost of goods sold up on top. So you can keep a very open eyes on your cost of goods sold, because it's too high, then you need to be able to evaluate, spot that right away, and take action, cut costs. Okay, so you can also see your biggest expenses. Of course, payroll should be one of your biggest expense, but you want to make sure your your payroll is running efficiently. So you want to take a look at what is the percentage of your payroll expenses to your income, and what can you do to maximize your pay, your labor, right? And then next, of course, is any other kind of expense that you want to spot those expenses that are growing too much, that needs to be taken care of. And of course, you want to make sure that your books doesn't have any duplicated expense and inflating your expense or income, right? That's why you reconcile the accounts. Okay, and then you should have your bottom line, and then compare that to your industry. How are you doing compared to the rest of your industry? So if you're a restaurant, for instance, if you're keeping 15%, 15%, you're doing really good. But if you're a service business and you're keeping 15%, that's not very good. Because you obviously, it depends on the kind of service you have, but those should be a much higher percentage of income or net income. All right, so this is it. So obviously I didn't cover everything, but I just wanted to let you know what's your workflow after taxes are done. How should you keep your books? What are the tasks that you need to do every month in order to keep your books up to date? So once again, gather your documents. First thing. Second, categorize your transactions. Number 3. Okay, let's get back here. Okay. Okay, number 3. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Number 3, reconcile the books, reconcile all your credit cards and all your bank accounts, right? Those are checking accounts, savings, or whatever bank accounts you have. Next, review your profit and loss. And then after that, number 5, 4 is profit and loss, because that's your bottom line. You want to see what's your income for the month. That's very important, and your cost. So you can take actions right away, right? So after that is your balance sheet, verify, reconcile. I recommend to reconcile all your liability accounts. Make sure the interest expense is properly categorized versus what is paid to principal and things like that. And finally, you are done for the month, ready for the next one. Evaluate your progress using profit and loss by percentage of income, and then compare that to your industry indexes. All right. Hopefully this was useful. And I hope to see you again. If you need any help, by the way, with your books, just getting everything organized, maybe your chart of accounts needs to be organized, maybe your products and service are out of whack, or maybe you need somebody to take care of your books, contact us and we can help you with that. If you want just education, so you know what to do with your books to stay up to date, contact us. We will have our contact down below. If you want just a one-on-one, just a more personalized approach, you can contact us and we can schedule an appointment to take a look at your books and help you get it up to date or organize it so you can have reliable numbers you can look at and take proactive actions to keep your business healthy and ahead of your competition. That's the name of the game. All right, thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me today. If you like this video, please subscribe. Click on the button down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some love. Just thumbs up there. And if you have any questions, You can write down the comments below. That helps other people find our videos, and share with your friends, share with your coworkers, share with your family, with everyone. We like that. And until next time, keep on smiling.